First, we just giving gratitude and thanks to all our ancestors, known and unknown. We thank you, all our spirit guides. We just resonate with gratitude right now and thankfulness of complete being because we know that we create as beings, we possess the power. And so with gratitude, we thank you, Source. We thank you for your complete keeping of us, and our family and our children and all of you. Let all of us be well. Let all of us be sound, applying everything that is going to continue to be beneficial to us.
Um, yeah, y'all. So I say. Um, we just want to start off with a little bit. You have to sit down. You have to be quiet. We just want to start it off with some gratitude and just giving some gratitude. This trip was definitely testing. The shadow things that came forward during our trip to Florida. We want to share those things with you. And you have to be quiet. And so, thank you, whoever in here with us. Peace.
Peace
We
to
really
you.
can't see the chat. I should have did this in Streamlabs, but oh well, we on here now. So, I'm back from my surgery, and it was so hard. I'm still a little swole over here, you can tell. Like it was some days to where I just cried, rocked myself to sleep like a baby. This was very difficult. They took all of this out over here. It was infected. The whole thing, the root and everything was like black, like my hair was so bad. And so, but through all of that pain that I experienced and suffering, a lot began to come to me and open up, and Ernest got tested a lot too. And so I just want to say, the first thing I want to say is, what you have to realize when you start trying to practice manifestation and being more intentional about the things that you attract, you're going to attract situations that are going to give birth to this person that you are desiring to become.
That's
to
right.
be.
Right.
And so doing magic, law of attraction, prayer, affirmation, mantras, all of, you have to be quiet, baby. All of the stuff that we do to try to master ourselves and be better, I don't think we're really willing to pay the price. I don't think we're thinking about all the time you said, help me with my patience. I don't think it be on your mind how this help is going to come. So,
and how frequent it's going to come.
Right. So when that help does come to you, don't fail. Try not to fail the test, because if that's gonna come to you with the opposite, because opposites attract. That is the law of attraction.
That's right.
That is how you manifest. So if you need help with patience, guess what? You're sending out an invitation for people to come into your life to test your patience. And if you really, really want it, like you say you do, then in the moment, most of the time, in the moment, you don't even realize it. You really mean it. You really, really mean it. I really want to learn how to be patient. But when the opportunity presents itself to you, you do the opposite. Yeah. And then you start to feel like, why am I going in circles? It don't seem like I'm growing spiritually. What's going on? So I just want to say to y'all, yes, we are doing all of this work, and it's self-mastery and self-love and shadow work. But the only way that you are able to transform yourself is through situations and trials and tribulations.
That's right.
So I'm not going to talk too much because I still got a lot of stitches in and stuff. I'm kind of just chime in when I feel led to. So peace to everyone in here. For the three of you in here representing the Trinity, that's what I'm talking about. Peace to you. Yes. A.T. Thomas. Peace, Terica. Hey, Terica. Y'all be the only ones in here getting these jewels. That's all right. No. But something wrong with my
Peace
phone.
out.
Oh, okay.
You'll get to do a video, okay? All by
Yeah.
yourself.
But yeah, y'all, this these past several days while we were in Florida, they definitely had been um some good times as well as challenging. Things occurred um from the intangible things to the real tangible things, and what I mean by that is some things that dealt with and we always looking at a matter from how it affects us spiritually. Uh, you know, we know that how we receive things and how we perceive things from a spiritual perspective helps us to be able to manage in the physical and move and operate in the physical. So we always looking at it from that standpoint first. Um, and so from the, out the gate, when we left, we started seeing synchronicities. Even when we were at the airport, and so I know, and as we had discussed prior to us getting ready to leave, Cam had shared with me that hey, this weekend, you know, a lot is going to happen. A lot of good is going to come about with it. But be mindful that even though our desire is for the good, like she said, you're going to attract the opposite. So, in order for the best in you to be continually cultivated and coming forth and rising to the top, guess what? You got to deal with all of the not so best, the not so good in you, the ugly stuff, the stuff that you probably not even fully aware of why you are the way you are and why you do the things you do. And so that's a part of the whole shadow work that we've been doing. And
Give them an example.
um,
Like the night before, leading up to the day of.
was it? Well, I think if we talking about the same
Some
one, that's
shadow examples.
dealing with shame.
I don't know, just whichever one resonate. Give them an example.
Um, well, me me snapping. That's one. I start with that. Me snapping. I got a tendency to be real snappy in a lot of instances, a lot of times, and I'm learning that one of the reasons that I get snappy is because I have had an issue with a woman telling me something, uh, trying to impress upon me uh, her idea or her let's do it like this or we should do it like that or this would be the best route. I had an issue with hearing that, and so um, did it? I'm trying to think how many times it happened. Actually, stop baby. Maybe 2 or 3 times it happened to where I snapped, and but thankfully for the patience of my wife, she's so wonderful with that. When I have those instances where I may snap, she's because she's also been doing shadow work and has mastered how to respond uh, and still respond in an unconditional love type of way. And so it's always with patience. It's always knowing that hey, even though I'm snapping off, I don't really mean no harm. But so in particular, I'm trying to think. Like man, so much happened. I have that. It's so subtle. I'm tripping. It's so subtle that to pinpoint you kickstart me.
Okay.
Cause
So
see, I don't. That I put it like this: when you making these type mistakes, you don't keep up with them. Um, on I've gotten better with when something happens, I can recognize it in that moment, and then correct myself. But as far as keeping track, she can jog my memory. Uh,
Okay, so let me say this. It's not when you try to recall maybe something you did that you weren't proud of because you're working on yourself and you're just tired of feeling like you're a dog chasing your own tail. You're running in these circles, but it don't seem like you're ever getting anywhere, getting momentum. When you get in that place, sometimes you get so frustrated with yourself that you begin to compartmentalize the stuff that you do to other people that's wrong.
Yep.
And it's easy to do that because you're not even acknowledging the stuff that you do and say to yourself that's wrong. So if you have negative thoughts, if you struggle with guilt and you don't deal with it, if you struggle with blame, if every time somebody say something to you, you get defensive, and they can't even finish saying what they're saying before you saying no and disagreeing with them,
Exactly.
and then these are a lot of the shadow aspects that he was revealing.
Yeah.
But what happens is when I try to talk to him about it, he don't remember. He literally be like, I can't remember what did I. And it's so crazy because you get into a disagreement with somebody and all of a sudden they can remember every damn thing that you did and said, what day you did and said it. So it just shows you that we are very selective in what we remember, and you're not going to be able to grow like that. So, so I want to say the first thing was going into this. I've been trying to practice holding sacred space for him, and we need to do it for ourselves too. So you need to give yourself the opportunity to grow by being honest with yourself. And he would blame stuff on me. I mean, it could be anything. Like this was the night before. And I was like, why do you keep blaming me for stuff that I didn't do? I was like, babe, what's going on with you? Why are you snapping at me? Why are you so frustrated? I don't know. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I don't know. And when you respond like that, you answering the question, it is something wrong.
Exactly.
And you just not acknowledging it. And so these things, these compartments become places where other etheric entities can attach themselves to your energetic field and begin manipulating what you're trying to create. The day that you're trying to create, the moments that you're trying to create. And if your day don't come out the way you wanted it to because you don't have spiritual hygiene. You don't know how to practice spiritual hygiene. And with spiritual hygiene, just like anything else, when you wash your hair, you're gonna part your hair open so you can see what's at the roots, right? That's good hygiene. But if you washing your hair and you only deal with what's on the surface, you gonna have a mess down up under there that could lead to infection and all kinds of parasites and bacteria and ringworms. And so it's like that energetically. So energetically, he don't like to listen to women. He carries, and that come from religious programming as well. Especially when we were coming into the Hebrew Israelite community, that's really clear to see. And that's also connected to some of his upbringing and his experiences with his mother and other women that came after her. So whenever I'm trying, hold on, show me later. Okay, show me later. So whenever I'm trying to tell him something, he gets defensive and he start blame shifting and projecting his feelings onto me. Not every time, but it's often. It's very often.
It's enough.
And so the night before us going out of town, I felt like he was being selfish because I'm like, examine yourself. The same way if you go fishing and when you get home and take a shower, you want to make sure ain't no ticks on you. You go carefully examine yourself because you don't want to come in the house and bring something in the house that could hurt your kids and stuff and get them sick and bite them. So you go examine yourself. So I'm like, examine yourself. He was just so caught up in the moment he couldn't do it, and so I was furious with him. So he to alleviate some of the frustration and stuff, he picked up another habit again to deal with it, and it's actually be making stuff worse. And so I was just like, babe, you struggle with being honest, being transparent, being real, being vulnerable, and having trust. And so because of those things, I'm really not here to try to hurt you or manipulate you, but you treat me like I am. And so on my end, the goal for me is to say, you know what, I love myself. I'm not going to let you mistreat me. So I'm going to put up a boundary right now because energetically what's going on with you is not good for me. It ain't good for you either. But if you decide to be in that vibration and don't do anything to come out of it, that's your choice. But I don't want to be in that toxic vibration. And so, because I was getting ready to go into surgery, I just felt like it was really selfish of him to not want to self examine himself, to not want to have honest moments with me and sit and talk about it and be real. And so I just called him out on it and just told him. And it was kind of difficult and at first, but then as we got through it, he was like, you know what? That is very selfish. I have been selfish. I have not been considering your feelings and all of that. So, of course, I'm going to forgive because you can't master self if you don't know how to forgive. Okay? That's forgiving yourself and other people. So I forgave it. You got to follow up with forgiveness and action. So you have to do something that shows that you really have released that person from whatever it is that they did to hurt you. And so I chose what action that would be to let him know that I had forgiven him. And so the next morning when we got up there to go out of town, the energy was a lot better. But I told him, you should never have let that energy, that toxic energy, come into our relationship, and you were not gonna address it. And I'm supposed to just ride with you and go have surgery, and I got all of that I'm feeling inside of me, and you won't even help me to deal with it because you don't want to see it. You don't want to see yourself, and and so that's ego. Ego don't like to see itself. Exactly. And so when you in a twin flame relationship or soulmate relationship, or when you're on the journey of self mastery, you're constantly going to get mirrors put in your face, whether you want to or not. As long as you keep meta praying, doing much of whatever, desiring your heart to be different, the mirror going to keep getting held up to you. Every time you turn around, it's going to be another mirror. And if you're uncomfortable with what you see, guess what? You're not going to change. You're not going to do anything to better your spiritual appearance. And you're going to run in circles. So the energy was better between us, and we got out of town, and it was great. But it was some other lessons because as soon as we got to the airport, tell them about what happened when we got to the airport. That was kind of confirmation of you releasing that vibration.
Oh yeah.
It was gonna make you miss out.
Yeah, I ran into actually on the way to the airport, we got an Uber, and the Uber driver, to make a long story short, happened to be affiliated and connected with he's a coach. He's a high school football coach, but he's connected with the coaches at the particular school, and it's a real good private school. Our son plays basketball, and so it was a good look, but the fact that we had already been talking, me and Cam had already been talking about this and discussing, kind of like the pros and the cons, to finalizing and making the selection as to what we want to do with him, right now at this stage. And so just meeting him, having an opportunity to talk, we immediately connected. We ended up exchanging information, and that's somebody that I know and plan on we having a connection and staying connected. But the brother, basically, and even with Ubering, I had signed up to Uber and had never taken a trip, and so he got to talking about it. I asked questions, and we just got to talking about it, and he kind of opened up and just shared a lot of help. It was such a synchronicity that it affects not only just he and I, but it affects Cam. It affects his family. It was just a divine appointment. That was one. And then once we got to the airport, I ran into somebody that I went to school with, and he's into psychological therapy now. Good brother. And so we were looking into those services as well. You can't do shadow work. You can't start dealing with the trauma in your life, and stuff that you done buried and compartmentalized and threw away. You can't deal with this stuff and it not sometimes take you to have to go the the medical route. And so just to be able to reconnect with him, um, it was just confirmation again. It was a divine appointment, and it was one of those right on time experiences. Like wow.
And that wouldn't have happened if we would have had not dealt with whatever energetically was going on between us and
Yeah.
within himself. That wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Cause you're not you have to align yourself with what it is that you want to attract.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to attract because we have been meta praying about a therapist for our children that understood our culture of being African American. And so that manifests us. But I told him, if you would have been walking in here with all of that frustration and irritation, you probably wouldn't even have noticed him, first of all. Second of all, it was because I had to use the bathroom that he was even standing there to run into the guy. The next thing, it was because of me having to get surgery that he met the Uber driver who couldn't connect him with a private school that we were interested in, but we knew it was too expensive. All of that came about through me, the one who he was having a lot of resistance towards as far as receiving from me.
Yeah.
And so I told him, this is what happens when you shut out something that's been put in your life to help you. So it may not be a spouse or a partner or a friend or a family member. It could be a situation that was put in your life to help you and give you what it is that you desire.
Don't resist.
And so so you have to start holding yourself accountable, and then you have to be willing to be honest with yourself and say, you know what, I was an asshole.
Exactly.
I was, you know what, I have been a big liar, and I'm not going to make any excuses for it. That's just what it is.
Right.
I've been lying, and I'm gonna fix this.
Yep.
You have to have that attitude about it, because if you don't, you're gonna keep going in circles. You really have to be aggressive when you're trying to change yourself, when you're trying to master yourself. Okay, go tell Kalila.
It's definitely a major thing that you definitely want to learn how to let some things go and not have resistance. That's one of the biggest things that I've gathered in the past few days is just learning how to be in that ebb and flow. Like she said, like you said, initially I would always have just a little resistance because I'm like, okay, I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I don't need you to tell me to do this or that or how to do it. And so having that resistance and knowing as gifted as she is, as accurate as she be, and how she has that innate ability to foresee things, it doesn't make sense. And so we laugh about it and we joke about it, but it's deeper than okay, I realize what's good for me. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I realize what's good for me. I realize what's been placed in my life, and this is such a blessing. However, when you going through this stuff and it's some deep it's rooted in you in these dark parts of your being, until you start really dealing with it, like she said, it's relentless. It's gonna keep coming and keep coming and keep coming and keep happening and keep occurring. And we have to not run from it, but we have to just open up and say, okay, now why am I doing this? Is it beneficial? And in a lot of instances it's not. It's just something about that ego that wants its way.
And I was gonna add, we got some quantum energetic technology. Got introduced to some quantum energetic technology.
Very deep.
And this technology it does a bioscan of your energetic field in your body, And so then it gives a readout, just like you would go and get your car plugged up at AutoZone and get a
And they get
readout
a
of
reading.
codes. It's the exact same thing for the mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
And so
It's so deep.
in his, yeah, everything that I had been telling him showed up when he got tested. Everything I had been telling him showed up.
Yeah.
And one thing that showed up that I don't think you quite realize yet, but envy showed up in his reading.
He did.
And I was gonna say, I believe another reason he be so resistant towards me is because he envies my spiritual abilities and where they are, and he feel like he's struggling trying to get to the first step.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the envy came up very strongly that it is causing distortion in his energetic field.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that gonna do energetically in your life?
Yeah.
It's gonna repel people from you that probably should be in your life. And so we have to be careful, because whatever thoughts you allow to go in your mind around and around and around, and you don't address it, whatever things you've done wrong and you never spoke up and admitted to it and tried to fix it, all that stuff gets stuck in all your 7 bodies, okay? And it is an imprint. And even your good deeds won't bring the harvest like they're supposed to, because you have this imprint, this holographic imprint that's over top of you, so it's gonna cover your good deeds.
Yeah.
And so he may be trying to do a good deed, but I'm gonna perceive it as him being inauthentic, him not being real with me. What you hiding? Why you don't never do that for me? Why you doing that all of a sudden? And he'll feel like he a victim and like I'm wrong for, I'm just trying to do something nice and you know, and not even realizing that there was another intention down in there. But because he is so uncomfortable with looking at himself, guess what? It's not gonna connect. So one of the main lessons from that is, don't think that you're above something, and because when it happens, it's gonna humble you. And you will find the things that make you say, no, I ain't like that. Usually the stuff where you have that kind of reaction to, that is part of your shadow aspect, and the ego is protecting that shadow aspect of yourself, so that you cannot become the alchemist you want to be, and take that part of yourself that you don't like and actually turn it into something that can be beneficial and be used to master yourself and be able to create the life that you want to live.
Y'all heard it.
So,
yes.
So I was really happy for the test, because, and this wasn't planned. We didn't know anything about this test. We didn't even know that he was gonna get the test himself.
Right.
But I was so happy about it because it was validation. And I was like, babe, look, see, you can trust me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is validation. You literally just got your chakras tested, and they measured the same things that I'm measuring. And so another big thing that I would say from this trip that we think would be helpful for y'all is check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because if you check yourself, other people won't have to, and it won't, the journey won't be as difficult. Okay? So, like, for example, me, when I feel myself getting to a vibration that I know is negative, I don't stay in it, and then he have to come and address it. You know what I'm saying? I go ahead and check myself and be like, you know what? Nah, that's not cool to do that. That ain't right. So let me do whatever I gotta do to cleanse this off of me, because that's not right. And so don't forfeit your future because you're trying to save face and don't want to be looked at as wrong or mean or negative or liar or cheat or whatever negative thing you don't like for people to call you on about. Like, don't you forfeit your future. By ignoring those things, he's forfeiting his future self, his highest self. He's willing to put his highest self on the chopping block to be sold to some other master because he don't want to master it. And that's exactly what happens. So don't let somebody have to come and snatch you up and put you on a chopping block and sell you like a slave getting sold to somebody else who's going to be your master. If you begin practicing mastering yourself, you won't even get in certain situations.
That's so true.
And so
That's
because
wisdom,
so since we got out of that vibration, We got a therapist for our children that we have been needing, and this had been like 1 to 2 years. And what's so phenomenal, I had literally just talked to the ancestors and the guides about that a few days before, and I told him, I was like, babe, your son is literally the imprint of you. And if you do not catch it early, he's going to have to experience all the things you experienced and some because you're not addressing it. And and he was just like, yeah, you're right. I said, it's really bothering me when I see him manic, and he would kind of scoff at me. I'd be like, he being manic right now, babe. This is how manic depression does. This happens, and he kind of scoffed at it a little bit, and now he sees like, okay, it's this just what it is. And so whatever is hardest for you, challenge yourself in that area, and life won't have to bring those challenges to you.
Yeah. One of the things that just really kind of blew my mind was what she was talking about the energy reading. I can't speak enough on it. It's something that y'all gonna definitely want to get y'all definitely want to get done. Because it's a complete benefit, like from a health standpoint, from a mental well-being standpoint, from a physical standpoint. You get pinpoint, close as approximate to relating a lot of your issues, and it's all connected energetically throughout your whole body. And we don't know it, but everything is connected. When you hear somebody say everything is everything, it might go over your head, but everything is connected. And so when something is bothering you right here, 9 times out of 10 is because it's in a chain with other things, and something else could be going on wrong somewhere else, but it's just showing up right here. But because everything is connected, and so just to get to see how that plays a part in our lives, and me personally getting to see how I see these tendencies. I see my issues, my different emotional issues, you name it, and even to like I said, to get some pinpointed areas on our bodies energetically, that if we focus on those areas and do certain things, that we can begin to create some balance there, and things will be in harmony. That was huge. The example is used that, like, if you just take a ball and you just spin it, don't look at you just only spinning it this way, or you only spinning it this way. You got to look at the infinite amount and possibilities of it spinning. So it's just all kind of, just while it's going this way, it's spinning that way, and it's spinning that way, and it's just like, okay. Now somebody would say there's chaos, but guess what? When your body is energetically balanced, all of that is still in place. It could be moving in all of these different directions and spinning at different axes, but it's still held in place. But guess what? When things are out of balance, that's like it's moving. It's moving over here, it's moving over there, and it's chaotic. And so that's why we see chaotic tendencies. That's why I can snap off, and sometimes I don't even understand why I'm snapping off. It sounds crazy, but
we was at the airport getting ready to leave, and I was like, babe, we gotta go get on the elevator and go upstairs to get the Uber. No, we ain't gotta go up there to get no Uber. Okay, let me explain something to you. We at the airport, and at the airport, people get off the plane, they come down here, and don't you see them taxis right there? You see them taxis? So the way it's supposed to work is
I like
you
your
come down
impersonation.
here and then you get picked up right here. Right there where them taxis at, this where you get picked up at. I'm like, babe, I'm telling you, we gotta get on the elevator and go upstairs and get the Uber. See, I'm trying to explain something to you, and you ain't listening. You ain't even let me finish saying what I was saying. So you know what? I just walked off. I said, I'm finna go and have a seat. Soon as I sat down, as huge as possible, a big flat screen comes up saying, if you're riding with Uber or Lyft, go to the second floor. There was a supervisor standing there. I said, maybe he's right and I'm wrong. This is how you keep growing. I always assume that maybe I'm wrong. Right. Long as you do that, you can keep growing. That's another little tip too. Yeah. So I asked the supervisor, can we get the Uber from here? She's like, no, you need to get on the elevator and go up a floor and go in front of United. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I sat back down and I was sitting there thinking, should I go tell him or should I just sit here and don't say anything and just let him see for himself? Once we done missed the Uber, gotta pay extra money. And I was like, you know what? No, he might chew my head off, but I'm finna go tell him anyway. And so, cause I felt like he was probably still in that negative vibration. So I told him, I mean, it was like pie in his face, and it didn't have to be, you know? And I asked, I was like, babe, why are you getting upset with me? I mean, what you mean why I'm getting upset? I was like, never mind. And you see the look on his face, like, I told him, you gotta do better. We all have to do better. We have learned too much. We have been through too much not to be able to do better. So with the rapture that's happening, this quickening that's happening right now, like now is the time for you to show what you really made of. And if you sick of going in circles, now it's time for you to get your ego in check. Get your higher self on board. Look, I'm ready to hear you. Yep. I'm ready to forgive. I'm ready to forgive even people who I don't feel like I really want to forgive. I'm going to do it because I know it's what I should do. Because holding this inside of me is toxic and poison to myself. That's right. My point in saying this is religion made us look outside. Religion made us think that everything bad that happened was because of the devil or something outside. When in actuality, it's something inside. And it is projecting itself outside into your environment. And so if your environment right now don't look the way you want it to, don't feel the way you want it to, know that there are some shadow aspects of yourself that needs your attention. And once you give those shadow aspects of yourself the attention that they need, be committed to doing your shadow work and your journaling. Be committed to self-love. Be committed to self-mastery. Be so committed where you learn how to receive constructive criticism. Right. Where you don't have to be right all the time. Where somebody can even say, I feel like ... about you. And it might not even be true. And for the first time, you don't get upset. Yeah. Because you're like, it's okay that you feel that way. That don't resonate with me, but I'm definitely going to go check myself and see. You know what I'm saying? Just humility. We have to learn how to walk in humility. And I'm going to tell y'all, if it weren't for all the stuff that I go through, I probably would struggle with not being able to humble myself. But when the physical body has a thorn in its flesh, it does give you the ability to humble yourself and master doing that. And in order for me to live and be sitting here in front of y'all right now after all I've been through, I had to master myself. And I'm so thankful. It has been a very difficult journey, but I'm thankful for every wound and every scar that has ever occurred, because now I have something that I can give to you, give to him, he can give it back, and we can just continue to help each other, each one teach one, and grow and be better. So don't despise the trials and tribulations you are experiencing. Right. And even better, I was just like, yo, like, we go do a ritual and for some things that we want change. Let's give an offering to Yemiya while we're here, since we have access to the ocean. Be a good opportunity to do that. I was like, let's do that. First, I was like, maybe we should do a money ritual. And then I was like, you know what? No, because when you keep asking for money, but your mind ain't even ready to handle it, your heart is still operating like a wounded heart, that money it ain't gonna be no good for you.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So I was like, no, we don't need to ask for no abundance. We don't need to ask for no money. We need to be grateful for what we have, and we need to go deeper within. So that whatever the stuff is that's blocking us from becoming our higher selves, so we can expose that shit. Because I know y'all feel this way too. I know y'all sick of that shit. You get so tired of making the same mistake over and over and over.
Yep.
And so the time, the energy that we are under right now is the energy that's gonna allow those who are willing to face themselves to be able to grow at a quantum speed. Growth is happening at a quantum speed right now. So just set a goal for one thing. You might have a tendency of being defensive to people and you don't know why. Just set a goal for that one thing and just work on that shadow aspect of yourself being defensive. Because of, I don't study astrology, so I'm just speaking intuitively what I feel. But because of the alignment of the planets and the energy that I feel is present right now, we're able to take quantum leaps. So whereas, like I told Ernest, it may have took 10 years for Ernest to learn the particular lesson he learned during this trip, but he learned it in the amount of time that he did because of the energy that he has been putting into it. Everything is energy, and you're gonna get out what you put in. And so I told him we can make quantum leaps right now. So your highest self may be 6 bedrooms away from you. Right now, if you apply these principles and use them, I'm talking about like for real, discipline yourself. If you do that right now, you will be able to skip most of those bedrooms and be so much closer to your highest self. And you won't have to go through every level to get to your highest self. Jacob's ladder right now, that's the ascension of humanity. That's the ability for us to be enlightened. Jacob's ladder is like available for us, right? You don't get confirmation that what I'm saying is true. But it is available for us, and because our DNA is being upgraded, we are able to make quantum leaps and like a lot quicker able to manifest the person we want to be. But guess what? With the speed in which you've been desiring for something to come, the situation is going to present itself to you to make that thing happen. It's going to be as intense as whatever speed it is you've been putting into it, what you want. So for us, I guess it was pretty intense because we missed our flight coming home. And I already knew, I said, this lesson ain't for me. This lesson for Ernest rigid ass, because he's dealing with rigidity, okay? And dealing with control and learning how to surrender and let go. And so when we found out we missed the flight, I was just like, oh shit, like.
Here it comes.
What's the nickname I gave you? Sir Blame a lot?
No, I thought it was Mr. Snapper or something.
I gave you DJ Snapper. I was like, here come DJ Snapper. He finna be on the spot, on the ones and twos.
Yeah.
So we get to the counter. I'm not feeling good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so weak at this point. I'm just laying over on the counter. I'm like, oh my God, we done missed our flight. And the way it happened was so strange because it was because of a synchronicity that we missed the flight. The lady who was checking our luggage, all of a sudden she wanted to tell her life story. So I'm thinking like, well, she worked here. If she was gonna make us late to the point where we gonna miss our flight, she ain't gonna keep talking.
Right. And
all the other people standing around her that work here and her manager down there. So I'm not thinking like that this woman is finna make us miss our flight. So I'm just being courteous, listening, and he is too. And I mean, it was very, very, a lot of synchronicity in what she was saying. She was talking about forgiveness, healing. She was talking about the ability to let things go. She just went through a divorce. She was abused. She said she lost her voice. She didn't know how to speak up anymore. And she learned how to speak up for herself. And we kept having the number 7 kept coming around to us. And then she said it's been 7 years. And I was like, okay, another synchronicity. I was like, well, we need to get on the plane. Thank you, universe, but we need to catch this plane. We leave. We get over there. And literally, I could just feel it happening. I didn't think we was going to miss the plane, though. So when we missed it, Ernest was like, man, I knew we should have. And I was finna stop him and say, okay, here you go. Because the same intensity that you blame me for stuff that I did not do, now you finna do that same thing to yourself. and I'm not gonna sit here and let you do that. But before I can say anything, what happened?
Oh, I was cool. I was cool. I was like, you know what? Hey, it happened for a reason because everything else had been happening and lining up, and good things just coming about from different things. So hey, it wasn't. I'm learning. It wasn't no need to even give no energy to any frustration, disappointment, resentment, any of that. It wasn't necessary.
We got a beautiful reward. We're gonna close it out with this, and I hope this story and these examples is helping you all to be able to like sift through some of your experiences and be able to, you know what I'm saying, use it to create to the person you want to be. But we got so blessed at the end of all of it. When we went to do the Yemiya offering, this was our first time giving an offering to the mother, Mama Wata. You know what I'm saying? And so this is just the energy of creation that helped create creation, right? And so we're just giving an offering, just being in gratitude for everything we have. And so we get to the beach to do that, and there are these two young ladies at the beach, and literally the way they was just wading in the water, I thought they was there for the same thing we was. And so we get out there, and she saw his Anubis necklace, and we just kind of got to talking and stuff from there. And it was really crazy because the girl he was talking to was a lesbian, and he used to really have some issues with that. I mean, a lot of us came out of religion, but they were talking with such ease. It was no judgment. It was just, these are two souls sharing an experience. And I was so happy and relieved to see that, you know. And I was just like, see, religion taught us to be judgmental of people. And it also taught us to be judgmental toward ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we did shadow work in religion. You would recall the bad things you did, but you only recalled it to go and repent for it and to ask the deity outside of you to forgive you.
Yeah.
No.
Or to take it away.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta do the
you
work.
Gotta work through it.
Ain't no shortcuts.
You gotta deal with it.
Ain't no shortcuts. Religion act like it was the long way out of Egypt, but it really is the short way out of Egypt with a whole lot of traps in it, because you gotta do the work. That's just gonna set you up to fail later. And a lot of the reason why this is a struggle for us, because we're not used to being held accountable at this level.
That's right.
We're not used to having to actually apply ourselves, use discipline to do the work. It was so much easier when you go give an offering. We gave offerings in religion too. You give an offering, pray, repent, ask for something, and then just wait on it to come. And now you got to actually manually
go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time something happens or something occurs, you have to deal with it. It's just the only way that you're gonna be able to realize. One thing that is happening is the ability for me to recognize more up to the minute. Like if I did something in 20 seconds, I'm like, okay, all right. You know, whereas in times past, I do something, it might be the next day.
Next day, y'all, he full of crap. Next day, no, weeks ago by, he won't say a word. I'm like, can we have an honest moment, babe? And I literally got to go get a scalpel. He getting there on y'all. At least he admitted that to y'all, even though he didn't tell it exactly how it was. That's all right. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Oh, my face, I can't laugh. So one other thing I want to make sure that I have expressed that was really touching for us was, because when we went to do the ritual or whatever, those two young ladies that were there, it ended up being a Yemiya ritual for healing of the divine masculine and divine feminine. And I didn't notice this until later on. But what was so beautiful about it, we were there, the sun was setting, and we got some footage. I think I'll post some pictures tonight. We were there, the sun was setting, the water, the salt water were being cleansed, the quartz in the sand. I mean, it was a perfect situation. And so we got confirmation that offering was accepted, because first of all, those two young ladies wanted our phone number and wanted to connect with us next time we come back down there. So that was amazing. You know what I'm saying? We weren't trying to be fishes of being, so to speak.
Right.
And so we planted a seed there, whatever, and they wanted to get to know us.
Yeah.
And so we get back to the hotel room, and I hear he in the shower. I hear lightning, like it was just shaking in the sky, and I was just like, thank you. I knew for water to come down, I just knew. What?
Bag up. Share about how all of life seemed like it started to gravitate to us. While all four of us.
Oh yeah, all of the fish
the
and the
two
dolphins.
Yeah. She already spoke on the divine masculine and divine feminine.
Yes.
It was two dolphins.
Yeah.
It just we can't even make this up. We can't even make
They
this
were so close to us, and we wanted to play with them. We could have. That's how close they was coming to us and to the shore, and they don't usually do that. So we know dolphins are very sensitive to energy. Dolphins, they are able to communicate telepathically.
Right.
They emit, and that's how they communicate. And the frequency was so high that two dolphins from somewhere from the Gulf of Mexico all the way on this shore where we were, which is a very small part of the Gulf of Mexico. And just, you can't, and so that was the first sign. Fish all around our feet. I had never seen that many fish before just come up. And we got to the hotel room, like I said, a storm started, and I was just like, thank you for letting us know that you accepted our offer, because it really was with a pure heart, true intentions. And so I just want to say, in order for you to master yourself, look, y'all, we gotta stop trying to we gotta stop running. We have to stop running. If you're going through something in your life and it seems like that same situation just keeps coming back to you, there is something within yourself you are running from, and that situation is there to show it to you.
It's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away. It'll continue to manifest. One of the things that helped me to see is like being in relationship, and the fact that some of the same tendencies would occur from relationship to relationship. Some people may be like, indifferent to that, but then some may look at that as a sign to say, maybe it ain't all that the other folks were just messed up. And then you're right, you have to look in the mirror and look at yourself and realize that it's me that's causing these issues. It's me that got some undealt with issues that continue to surface. And hey, whether that's you being an asshole, whatever it is, but you gotta deal with it. You gotta say, yep, that's me, and deal with it.
So I hadn't seen the movie Us, but the movie Us, I guess we eventually watch it, but that's exactly it. The biggest enemy, the biggest monsters you facing yourself. Look like you just see some differences. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So don't run from yourself. Don't go ahead and go into it and deal with it. Have faith. Know that it's gonna work out. Already have in your mind the end result before you even get to the end result, so that when you get there, you will know this was intentional. I can be proud of myself for this. I achieved something. I set out a goal and I made that goal manifest. So that's why journaling is important. And I want to keep pushing that, because we're going through these quantum leaps now within the rapture that's taking place. And what's happening is the grace that's available for people to have their spiritual abilities activated or even increased. The grace is there for us to do that, y'all, but we gotta do the work. So let's stop running from ourselves. Let's stop blaming other people. Let's stop withholding forgiveness against our own selves and sometimes other people, because it's only poison that's gonna kill you. And and one thing, I wasn't gonna do a video today, and I like, babe, you think I'm gonna do a video? And cause I really need to be resting and stuff, but I wanted to go ahead and share this and get this out and say, yes, doing your rituals and your mantra affirmations, all of it is important. Your ancestor altar, all of those things help and they are important. But the most important thing is the man in the mirror. And if you don't know what is mastering you, you're not going to be able to master anything, including yourself. So if being a liar is mastering you right now, let's deal with that. Ask the guides and ancestors, help me deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Talk to source. Help me deal with this. I obviously have this in my life because it's something I'm supposed to learn from it, and it's something I can overcome. Show it to me. That's all you gotta do. The universe listens. The universe is Mother Earth. Mothers listen. The universe is always listening. And so what is it that you're saying subconsciously? That's what's creating your world. So be careful what you communicate out into the universe, because you don't want to be forfeiting your future.
Everything is vibrations and frequencies. So if you like she's saying, if you holding on to a certain vibration, and it could just be that it pulls negative energy your way, it attracts negative energy, that's what you're going to get. So be real sensitive as to what you find yourself holding on to, what type of emotional energy you carry, what type of emotional energy you holding on to. And if it's not beneficial to you, for your well-being, and for those around you, your family members and other loved ones and friends, then you have to release it.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get off here, let's see, y'all, my phone messing up, so I can't see the messages while we're on. So let's make sure we shout out everybody. Peace, y'all niece one. Peace to you. Peace, Marie Mayat Ra.
She said we sideways.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I told you something wrong with my phone. The orientation on my phone won't turn. That's all right, y'all. Just the audio was what was important anyway, right? Mm-hmm. We all trying to correct ourselves because we be sitting sideways. So maybe it happened for a visual lesson. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Word Watcher. That's James Brown fault. Laugh out loud. It's a man's world. Yeah, they did say it a lot, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Well, Divine Feminine is here to restore balance.
That's right.
So, DJ High Priestess 144 Tarot, what's up to you? I'm going through the same thing with my masculine. He thinks I'm here to hurt him, and I'm about to walk away. His wall is too high for me. Ooh, girl, yeah, that's definitely the energy right now. We all are feeling it in some way. We got to break these curses for good. Yes, we do. Hey, White Girl 333, I hope you in a better place and you finally moved or whatever you were going to do. And we've definitely been keeping you in mind. And I ain't forgot about you. Whenever you want to do that reading, we can. I'm divorcing my toxic family, moving to another state maybe. Someday find twin flame again. Hopefully soon. I'm sure that's what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Yes, White Girl. That's why I said you got to deal with the person in the mirror. Because this situation right here is not an easy situation. It is a very trying and testing situation. And it's going to bring out all of the ugly parts of you. Mm-hmm. And it's going to hurt the other person. Because sometimes the only way to change is to see how much you've hurt someone by being that way. Okay? So make sure you're ready for what you're saying you're ready for with your actions. Show that you're ready for it. My masculine hates that I'm always right and he thinks I'm trying to control him. Yep, that's the energy. But see, the balance is being restored. So all the masculines are dealing with that energy right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the ego is what you would call Satan or Set in Egyptian text. Absolutely. These are just descriptions and stories to help us understand us. Let's see who else in here. All right, did I miss anybody? Peace, Delina Robinson. I saw you just pop up down there. Peace to you. Thank you for getting on here with us. Okay, y'all work out y'all issues and listen to each other. Don't let Satan take y'all from each other. Y'all are the hope for all twin flame unions. Spirit is using y'all for a superb purpose, beloveds. Oh, we received that. Thank you. Thank you.
We not.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna stay on it. Look. Yeah. Whatever.
We not.
It's gonna get right on both sides.
But you know, that's the thing. She desired to get herself right, and I desire to get myself right. And so we just support one another.
Yeah.
But quite naturally when you going through it all, it's hell. It's
Yeah.
hell. It's hard, you know. But that's what love is all about.
Yeah. So let's see. Anybody that I missed in here? But y'all, it's time to master ourselves, okay? No more circles. Let's finish 2019 with self-mastery. My heart chakra and energy is exploding. And yes, we are loved. It's funny you said that, white girl. I had that happen in the meditation. My heart exploded. I'm going to have to tell y'all about that later. It's some deep, good stuff. Okay. So I think we called everybody's name in here. That's important to do that.
Yeah,
Roll
definitely.
call.
Shout out to
Yeah.
all y'all. Yeah.
So thank y'all for being with us. I'm finna go and rest and try to recuperate myself and get ready for the week. But we love y'all. Thank y'all for just being on the channel, bearing with us, bearing with this horrible photography situation that's going on right now. But you know what? The message that you get is all worth it. If you happen to have missed us because we were on live and you didn't catch us, that's okay. Just hit the bell notification so that you don't miss us again.
Yeah.
And we love y'all. We're just sending out good vibes. Know that we are a soul tribe. We're holding hands with you virtually.
Yes, we are.
And whenever we come before you, the goal is for your third eye to get kissed. All right.
That's right. Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.
Yep.
Peace out.